Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome in the name of Christ as we celebrate the 14th Sunday after Pentecost. Just a few announcements to lift up, the first of which is the council changed the COVID safety guidelines for worship. They are recommending that people indoors wear masks, whether or not they are vaccinated. But again, this is a recommendation. You are highly encouraged to, but we are not enforcing mask wearing here. So sit where you feel most comfortable, but you can sit on either side because it seems like we have a good mix of masked and unmasked people on either side. But again, what you feel most comfortable doing. Just a reminder, the way we do communion, we will commune this side and make our way over to this side. Please come forward to the center to receive the bread. Pick up a cup on your way up. This side will receive the wine over here. Place their cup over there when they are done, and then again this side, pick up your cup, receive wine on this side, place your cup in the receptacle over there. And just a reminder, we do have gluten-free wafers and grape juice for those who need them. Just indicate to the presiding minister, me, or the assisting minister, Tom, what your need is. You'll probably see the prayer shawls are up here. This is our newest kind of fruit of the labor of the prayer shawl ministry. We shall bless them during the service. That will be after the prayer of the day and before the first lesson. So if you don't see me moving through the bulletin the way we should, that's because we're blessing the prayer shawls. And we thank Casting Our Nets, all those who are part of that group, for making these prayer shawls. And you are welcome to take one if you have a need. If you'd like to give it to someone, you are welcome to go down to the library and take a prayer shawl and give it to someone so that they can be wrapped in the prayers of the people here. Please note that about a month from now, we will be meeting in here on September 28th at 7 p.m. to discuss the pastoral transition and some of the other transitions at the church here. So if you have any questions or concerns, you are welcome to come that evening and be a part of it. Please note, we will be meeting as a stewardship committee on Thursday, September 2nd at 1:30 p.m. over in the confirmation room that way. So thank you to everyone who has indicated their willingness to be a part of that committee. And if you would like to be a part of it, we will still take more members. So anyone may join us that day. And if you have any questions, just give me a call or an email. You can read about the book discussion group, information about that. Lydia Circle will be resuming on Tuesday, September 7th. Please note the time change. They are meeting on Tuesdays again instead of Mondays. But now it's the first Tuesday instead of the second Tuesday. And they will have an ice cream social and a planning of the programs for the year. So all women of the congregation are welcome to attend. Please take note about the Joseph's Table update, the Solenko Crop Walk, which is coming up. There's an announcement in there. The Lutheran World Relief Kits of Care. We will have, after this weekend, 2 more Sundays where you can bring items, and then anybody is welcome to help assemble the kits on September 7th. Please keep the people of Haiti in your prayers. They suffered another devastating earthquake. If you'd like to make a donation to the relief efforts, there's 2 ways you can do it. Those are in your bulletin, either through the ELCA disaster response or Marie Claire, who was the student we supported years ago. Her brother's parish was hit pretty hard, so if you'd like to make a donation to the repairs of the parish house and the building, you may do so. So all that information is in that insert. You can pick it up on your way out. That's all I have, but we do have 2 other announcements, the first of which comes from John Zielinski.
Good evening. This Friday afternoon, I'm playing a half-hour lunchtime recital, organ recital, at the York County History Center. And I'm playing an organ built in 1805 by David Tannenberg. And it's one of the very few remaining instruments from early America that's still in playing condition. And I invite you to come to that. There's no admission charge. And if you'd like a flyer, these are out on the Welcome Center. If you'd like to hear it but you can't come, there will be a link in this week's announcements on Thursday to the live stream on Facebook, which will also stay on Facebook and you can watch later, just like our services. The other announcement that I have is that if you have any instruments that we could use in Ascension Academy that you're not using, perhaps you had a child that played an instrument for some time and it's no longer being used, we are welcoming donations of those instruments. We can refurbish them and we can get have anything like that, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And finally, I invite Chuck Miller, our council president, forward. He is going to give a brief temple talk on the pastoral transition and another staffing change we are having here at the church.
Good evening. I'm not sure all of you would know me since I typically am at the Sunday morning service, but as Pastor Maureen said, my name is Chuck Miller. I've been on council for a couple of years and am currently serving as the president of the council. But those couple of years, wow, they've been a couple of difficult years for the church and for all of us as we've negotiated our way through COVID and figured out what to do when and how to make our way through that. And as well, working through the transition of our senior pastor with Pastor Steve's retirement. And all of us on council feel that it's very important to communicate well to all of you in the congregation during a time of transition like that, the pastoral transition. And so that is what I'm up here tonight to do, is to fill you in, at least on the major points of what we have accomplished so far on your council. On the first month after Pastor Steve's retirement, the council met at our monthly meeting and met with a representative from the bishop's office. Pastor Beth Martini met with us, and she discussed with us the path forward, what it looks like working through the transition of a senior pastor, the decisions that need to be made, how we go about making those decisions, and especially the resources that would be available to us from the bishop's office as we make those decisions. And that was very encouraging to us. One of the things that was made clear to us during that time is the need for someone to serve as an interim senior pastor, which could be someone brought in from outside, or the option was there to have Pastor Maureen serve that. And our council was unanimous in the decision to ask Pastor Maureen to serve as our interim senior pastor while she continues in her call as associate pastor. That seemed to be the clear decision because of her experience. You'll remember she was a sole pastor before she came here and is used to that. She knows us, we know her, she understands the transition, it makes financial sense, so it was a clear way to move ahead. So we have entered into that contract with Pastor Maureen. That contract is in effect until the end of the year or until a senior pastor is installed. That also does include an increase in the compensation for the pastor because of the increased load that she has, that now she's doing both what she and Pastor Steve did together prior to his retirement. Beyond that, there's not any firm decisions to communicate yet. We're still in the process of assessing what needs to be done, what are our needs. We haven't ruled out anything, and we haven't decided anything firmly yet. We still are considering what are our needs, both in the near future and that we anticipate coming in the few years to come. In terms of our needs for a pastor, do we need 2 full-time pastors as we recently had, or do we need 1 full-time and 1 part-time, and what would part-time look like? Those are all things, options that are before us that we're working through. So please pray for the council and for the church as a whole as we work through those discussions, deliberate together, and try to find the best recommendation that we can bring to you. And as soon as we have that, we will bring that recommendation to you for your approval. And in the meantime, we'll keep you up to date. At the same time, we also agreed that there was a very important need to move ahead with the youth ministry in our church. this is also a very difficult period of time for our young people. It is a tough time to move into maturity. And the questions of life, the questions of faith, the questions like, what is it? What is my role in society? What does it mean to see and work towards justice? What does it mean anymore to love God and to love our neighbor? Those are important questions. And it was important to move ahead with the youth ministry with someone strong to lead our young people in that. So we have hired Darren Hamrick. I'm sure you know him. He grew up in the church. His family has been part of our church for quite some time, part of the active membership of the church and leading in the church, which we greatly appreciated. After Darren grew up in the youth ministry of our church, he's continued on as a volunteer leadership role at the level of our synod, so he's very well versed in youth ministry and will be a great addition to our team ministering to our young people. So we've entered a contract with him as well. That contract also runs through the end of the year, and that's something that will come before the congregation at our annual meeting in January to approve that contract moving forward. Finally, let me just say again, communication is vital. It's very important. All of us on council would welcome any questions that you have, thoughts, concerns, ideas. Bring those to us. You know, if you bring a suggestion to us, I can't promise that we will take your suggestion and absolutely make it happen, but I can promise that we'll listen and we will consider it and we want to hear it. Our pictures, our names are posted on the bulletin board. So, you know, if you need to know who is on council that you can ask, check there and get our contact information, and we will be more than happy to talk with you and to bring you up to speed. Again, I want to thank you for your support through difficult times, your financial support, but your support of activity and your presence. Whether you're present here in person or the live stream, your presence is appreciated. We do not take that for granted. We are thankful for that, for you, and for our congregation. God bless you. John, if you want to lead us in a prelude.